What's up, founders and investors? Welcome back to Next Round Ready. I'm your host, Chris. Today we have very special guest, Chris Pearcey from Decisio. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Chris, for having me today.
I always got to start off with the idea. What gave you this idea? Like, how did you get to this point? And this is kind of like your founder journey. I like to give founders a chance to like talk about themselves a little bit, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you. What's interesting is I think most 99% of the folks listening in are going to relate to this. I was laying on the couch one night, it was about 2.5 years ago, trying to find something to watch. I was overwhelmed by all the choice, so I went back to my old regular, The Office, hung out with Jim and Pam for the night while I started to doom scroll. Found this amazing article about what folks miss the most about the dating apps after they met their partners on those apps. And 52% said they miss swiping. So at that moment, I was like, well, if you can swipe to find your partner, why can't you swipe to find something to watch? So then I started, iterating through this idea over some time. Started just, chatting with some people, and I started to really, fine tune how I thought this should look. And having a data analytics background, I was like, well, a 2-point system isn't enough for data, but a 4-point system could be enough. So I came up with the 4-way swipe to create the intersection of intent with taste. Which is different than most of the other platforms out there when it comes to even rating, where most rating platforms don't even take into account intent. If you and I both rate something a 7 or even a 10, let's say you and I both rate a 10, the greatest movie ever, but 37 other people didn't want to see it, that intent isn't captured. So how do we determine, what really is the intent and who wants to really see that movie and how it should truly be rated?
So to take a step back, because I like the way you break it down, and we talked a little bit about the product already. What's the specific painful problem that you're solving? I want you to tell the world, tell the people.
So I'm going to give 2 stats first, and then I'll go into what I'm specifically solving. So 32% of all people, when it comes to their entertainment mediums, give up on searching for what to do, what to watch, what to read, all of the above, because there's too many choices. 80% of all people require recommendations. Those are from psychology reports. Those aren't from just some surveys found online. So this is actually a psychology related study that found these 2 data points. So being that those are 2 huge impactful data points, what I'm solving is I am giving you first the real choice, and we'll probably get into that later what the real choice means, but not just the manufactured choice to choose between 3 items that Netflix gives you, but the real choice of what's completely out there based on what you actually like. So what we're doing is we're taking who you are, figuring that out, and then we're giving you the choice to decide of what to watch based on that in a much more siloed view based on what you're in the mood for in that moment.
I love this product because the problem you're solving is one that I think 10 years ago, the timing would have been off. Even maybe 5 years ago. Now it feels like the perfect time because we have so many streaming platforms, like so many options. If I think of any song, I can go and search it on 5 different platforms and listen to it instantly. So like we have never needed a better recommendation system than we do now. And I think it's only going to get worse in the coming years.
Yeah, 250,000 total titles between movie and shows. Over 25 major streaming platforms now. The average person spends $130 a month on streaming platforms plus internet. And the whole point of streaming was to cut the cord on cable, but now we're paying more. Too much choice. And then you look at Netflix, has close to 8,500 titles total, and you wouldn't know it because you see the same 100 titles recycled to you because that's what makes them money. They want to push the same 100 to you, changing the title, changing the cover. So you'll watch something that makes them money versus something that actually give you enjoyment.
Man, and I think that's the kind of sleazy side of it is some of the platforms out there that do exist that are recommendation platforms aren't really that. They're more of like a manipulation system that companies can use to get their whatever it is in front of you. And then I also think of it from a creator side. If I have an independent film and I want it to be seen, now I have to spend more money to compete with the giants like a Netflix or Amazon or whatever. And that's just how the game is going. But I don't think that's healthy for anybody. It's just good for the companies who want to make the most money. If you're fundraising right now or plan on fundraising for your startup within the next 6 months, you got to do one thing. You got to take the fundability assessment on Compass. That's compass.nextroundready.vc. I build Compass based on the same criteria that I hear and I learn from investors every single week. It scores you across 5 different pillars and tells you exactly what real investors are looking at when they see your company. It takes 10 minutes and it's completely free. And once you're done, you immediately get investors delivered directly to your inbox. Complete your assessment now at compass.nextroundready.vc.
Absolutely. And the poster behind me, and this is always going to be behind me now, you'll see it says ZombieCon on it. Big Squid Studios, very first fan of Decisio, sent me asked if I would check their film out and just see if I liked it. I'm a zombie fan, loved it. Never would have heard of it if not for Decisio. Never would have. And it's an indie zombie film that's on Prime right now. Watch it if you want. If it's not your thing, don't worry about it. But I'm not making anything to promote it. I honestly just want to help folks find things that they never would have heard of that they're actually going to enjoy.
I love that, man. I love the way you set this up. So I want to get into your background a little bit. So why do you think you're the perfect person to build this product and solve this problem?
Yeah, so a couple things. I was a database engineer in analytics for 10 years, 5 of that being at Nike. One thing I did when I was at Nike, I supported Asia Pacific, Latin America. That's about 1/10 of the revenue of North America, but also 1/10 the budget of North America. So we were like a scrappy startup for 5 years. When I was hired, we went from the term emerging markets to APLA, Asia Pacific, Latin America. We were at about a 65% forecast accuracy, which means that we were losing a lot of money as a division, as a geography. So my job was actually to bring these tools to help get that forecast accuracy to between 90 and 95%. So I did the work on the data. I did the work on the analytics. I did cohort matching with consumer profiles, similar to what I'm doing here, to help create a forecast for these geographies that are very, very diverse and very different from each other, from South America to Southeast Asia to Australia to New Zealand. And so I was able to get the forecast accuracy to 92%, which made Asia Pacific, Latin America profitable for the first time in Nike's history. You don't want to go above 95%, which is also an interesting nuance because factory stores need supply as well. So using that background, I'm using very similar to theory here from the standpoint of how to do machine learning with AI to help you cohort matching to find these matches. So from the technical standpoint, I get it. I've also been a product manager for the last 8 years, got my MBA for project management and business law. So I understand also how to build products, get them to market. I've been doing it successfully. In my previous role, I was able to launch a $10 million product, help them make a whole lot of money. So at this point, I'm ready to start doing that for myself. Not necessarily that scale. I mean, hopefully, but at the very least, become my own. Create this company, help a lot of people find enjoyment who use it, and then the folks who come on board with me make a fun career and actually have passion for what we do by helping others.
Love that, man. This is so good. Your background is actually really, really valuable. And at what point in your career recently, like, did you have that kind of aha moment that the market is real? I know you were like looking at your own recommendations and thinking like that, but when did you know that this could be an actual business? I think there's a difference between I have this idea and a feeling I can make something and then actually having a company.
When I started digging into the analytics, because I hadn't done that before. This was about a year and a half ago. I started digging into the data, finding those metrics, and understanding not only how big the market is. There's 2.21 billion subscriptions in the world. In North America, there's 2 million print books sold a day. There's over 3 billion gamers in the world. Tabletop gaming is the fastest growing industry in North America, going to hit $50 billion in 2029. When I started seeing these numbers, I saw the opportunity, not just the opportunity for Decisio, but the opportunity of how all of these mediums are growing globally to the point that before we know it, there's going to be so much choice, no one's even going to be able to engage. It's going to be paralysis for 99% of the world because it's too much. So when I saw that, I knew that I needed to come in and help solidify these industries to help folks really get a hold of it for themselves. We have a competitor like Rotten Tomatoes, who was at one time not too long ago pretty decent at what they did, but when they were acquired by Fandango, they shifted their focus to helping Fandango make more money. They've been caught several times. 10,000 reviews for Deadpool and Wolverine a week before it came out. The recent controversy with Melania, we don't need to get into that, but we know there's been some prop scores there. Then you look at IMDb, who is the opposite end of those scores. Everything out there is artificial. Nothing is real anymore from the standpoint of recommendations. So I'm trying to bring real back.
I was going to say, if you can hold out and be the real platform, because I think with the way AI is going, the economy, all these different things factor into reviews. Like, I remember watching some documentary on YouTube about Amazon having fake reviews for their products as well, and how it's like an entire business to do fake reviews. And as a consumer, it's just annoying as hell because you just want to go and get a good review on something. But now you have to always wonder if it's paid for, if it's not. I would love to know it's a guarantee from the company, from the founder, that's like, we don't get paid reviews over here. We do not do that. It's against our policy.
And not only that, we're not going to publish the ratings in a way that these other companies do. Because again, I don't want those ratings to influence you. I want you to influence you. I want the system to know you and that you're the one doing reviews that's on your own content to decide what to watch next. Because you're the ultimate judge of yourself, right? That's what it comes down to. Because again, if you and I both give something a 10, what does that mean? What I mean, who are we to say that it's a 10 versus someone else who might not like the film?
Yeah.
That's the thing is, there's so many opinions out there, but the only opinion that should matter is yours and yours alone. Unless, of course, you're married, have a partner, all of that. But here's the best part: we have the movie night feature on there where you can use both your data to decide. So now we're using both your data to help pick a choice for both of you. We're going to do that with books as well for book clubs. Because I don't know if you've ever seen a book club try to decide on what to watch. Sometimes the knives come out, and I mean that literally, not figuratively. So, like again, helping using 10 people's data to find 5 recommendations that you can use for a book club. I'm trying to simplify all this. I'm trying to take time out of deciding, put more time in enjoyment.
I like that. Okay, so I got a couple other questions now. What's your long-term vision for the company? Like, what does success look like to you in 5 years?
So in 5 years, I want to be global. There's some markets out there that are also dying for this: India, Korea, EU, some countries in South America. All are in the same boat we are. Very, very good entertainment industries, from movies, TV shows, books, the whole 9 yards. But I want to ultimately bring this to and I was told last night, actually thinking through this. Originally I had called it a dating app, but I want to call it like a social matching app. So not like social like Twitter or those other versions out there, but where you can find your partner, you can find your best friend, you can find someone to go watch a movie with, you can find a book club. So based on what you're looking at in life, we're going to use all this data to match you with what you're looking for in the moment, whether it be friends, relationships, all of the above. So you might 1 month use this to find your partner in 1 month, because we're going to be that good. I know that with the data that you're going to start dating someone. But then next month you're going to stay on, because now you're going to find your book club, or you're going to find your movie club, or you're going to find your buddy to go watch this with, or go play D&D with.
That makes so much sense, and I think that's kind of solving another big problem, which is the connectivity of the world now. When I was doing local events at like the libraries and stuff like that, this was before COVID. I remember how much people love that kind of connection and building relationships and all of that. And it's so interesting seeing now how people are trying to go back to that. I think people want that connection you're talking about. And what better way than it to be connecting through what you like to consume? Whether it's music, movies, or books, or TV shows, games, like that's just a perfect way to build a connection with somebody. And I do think it works for dating too. I got to push back on a little bit, which I know the audience would, on data privacy. So how do you plan on defending the privacy of your users?
Yeah, so we want to be known as the most ethical data on the internet. That's important to me. We are not capturing. We're not gonna. I don't even care what your first name is. I have no interest in who you are. I have interest in what you like, and I'm going to tie that to demographics if you choose. We're going to highly encourage demographics at a high level, because it does help with cohort matching, consumer profile building. But we don't need to go beyond the PII. And for the listeners that know what PII, that's individual identifying information. We don't care beyond. We're never going to go low enough at a grain to ever know who you are as a person, individually. Well, we're going to know what you like. We're not going to be able to tie that back to a person. That's important. When you sign in, it captures your email address. That's it. And then if you're on iOS or Apple ID, you can even mask that. We don't need to see that. We don't care. We just want to have good data that we can match back to demographics that's going to help influence and inform the industries of trends based on that demographic, because that's low enough grain. I don't want you to swipe on a movie that say you want to see it, and then see that an ad for the movie pop up on your phone in 10 other places. That'll never happen.
Oh, yeah, because
never
that's
happen.
like worst case scenario in my mind is I'm on the app, I'm on Decisio, and I see a movie and I like it, I add it to my list, and because this happens with Amazon Prime all the time. And then I'm doing something else, and then an ad pops up, and they're like, "Oh, buy this shirt that goes with this movie." And it's like, no, I just want to watch the movie when I have time later this week. Like, I don't want to buy the clothing to go with the movie. Like, relax.
Yeah, no, never. Well, we're never going to do that, because that defeats the whole purpose of what we're trying to do. We're trying to simplify your life. We're not trying to make it more complicated by giving you all these ads and making you feel like we just intruded on your life. This is about you and you alone.
Love this setup, man. So, can the people go and try the app? What's your traction like? Can people download it and get started?
Yeah, so it's on both the iOS and Apple Play or Google Play Store. If you do go to iOS, do have to search Decisio Space Media. Unfortunately, we're just not high enough ranked there. But on Android, we did just cross over the 10,000 download mark. Decisio, 4.4 ratings already too, or in the early stages, good signs. We are at over 3,000 active users. We have over 200,000 data points. Month over month, we're growing every day, every month. We're keeping a very modest, bootstrapped marketing spend, but yet we're growing and getting higher user sign up every day without additional spend. So we know that folks are finding us, seeing us, talking about us, and it is helping us grow with that. Our goal is by the end of spring to be at 100,000 users, so the book versions will come out. Book and podcast versions will come out together at the same time as we hit the 100,000 user mark. We're going to give folks the option to use their movie and TV data to influence their books to start too as well, so you don't have to start completely over. So all of this traction is coming, but we need to keep the traction going, and that's the big thing now. We know that we have methods of revenue through the books programs with affiliate programs. So that's an important milestone for us to show that we are a business. Right now, we're a fun app. That's a great idea, but the book version getting out with 100,000 users on board will show us as a legitimate business to show that what our capabilities truly are.
Man, I wish you all the success. I just got a strong feeling this is going to work out very well. Guys listening, thank you for tuning in. I'll put a link to get Decisio in the description box and down below in the show notes. Make sure you go and download it. I'm getting on there. I'm getting active. Chris, thank you so much for being here, being a great guest.
Thank you so much, Chris, for having me. I appreciate it.